right, this is Lucifer here, business and spiritual consultant as always. I'm happy that you guys are here. Man. Thank you all for the support that you have been giving me as of late and since the beginning. I got my loyal few customers. I got my loyal few peoples up in here. How y'all doing, my gins? Something I haven't said in a long time. How y'all doing, my gins? Alright, I know you don't like it when I call you a gin, but to me, it makes sense. Alright, to me, it makes sense, because a gin is a witch that doesn't need transmutation circles. So, that's what it is. If you're a magician that doesn't need to use any transmutations, any keys of Solomon, any pentagrams or anything of that sort, and you're a magician, well, guess what? You're a jinn. All right, I'll stop. I'm gonna stop. So apparently, somebody asked me a good question. Somebody said, what's the importance of herbs in rituals? Herbs are very important in rituals. Herbs are very important in rituals. Do you absolutely need herbs to conduct a ritual? It depends. It depends. I would say yes, but that shouldn't stop you from working if you don't have the correct herbs. It shouldn't stop you from working because it's a work in progress. If you're just starting and you're looking for specific herbs and you don't know where to find it, it's normal. I mean, like it's normal. There's some rituals that ask you for herbs that are not conveniently sold at your local supermarket, so you have to do a little bit more research. So yes, I would say herbs are important, but I would say herbs makes some of the best people that knows how to use herbs are probably some of the best magicians because they understand what the herb means. Because basically, when you're using herbs, you are using personality. You're using personality, the spice of life, as they say. So that's why if somebody's using herbs in their rituals, they're probably some of the best magic practitioners because they understand the personality that they're trying to convey, that they're trying to conjure up. They understand. So basically, it's like when you do a ritual. Let's say you're doing a ritual for magic, or you're doing a ritual for magic. You're doing a ritual for magic. Like you want to know, you want to have more magical power. You want to have a more magical presence and things of that matter. Using herbs that are connected, using any element, not just necessarily herbs, but usually using any element that has a magical connotation to it will help you in your ritual, in your practice, because you're enveloping yourself. You know, the universe is a receptor, right? And it's a receiver and a perceiver. The universe is a receiver and a perceiver. What does that mean? That means without talking, without saying things, if you fill your altar with magical items, if you fill your altar with anything that you perceive as being magical, either being known for it being magical or not known for being magical, if you put that in the same space, you are telling the universe what you want, right? So even without talking, without necessarily like saying anything, you're you already know, right? You're telling the universe that that's what you want, and the universe will understand because it's gonna look at the items that's on your altar, It's going to look at the items that's on your altar. It's going to look at the items that are near you or around you. And the universe is going to be like, this place is magical. Because that's how the universe thinks. The universe always thinking in the present time. It's always thinking in the present tense. It's never thinking in the past tense. It's never thinking in the future sense. It's even if it's thinking in the future sense or in the past tense, it is saying it as it is right now. Because for the universe, time and space is irrelevant. There is no for the universe is an omnipresent space, an omnipresent time. And when I mean omnipresent, I don't mean by power, I mean by presence, right? So it is always present. It is present in the past. It is present in the future. It is present, and the universe knows all, right? Like the universe is aware of everything, right? You know, so since it is aware of everything at all times, and you know, there's no future, there's no past for the universe because everything is happening at the same time, because that's what the universe is. Then it will say, it will look at you, and it will say you are magical. So even if you don't feel it, even if you don't see it, the universe sees it. And sometimes you're not doing it on purpose, but that's what you're actually telling the universe, right? So you're sitting there and you're telling the universe things, and you don't necessarily understand that you're telling the universe things. You don't necessarily understand that you're telling the universe things by the way that things are arranged around you. You know, by the things by the way that things are arranged around you, you're telling the universe, this person is like this person is like that, this person is like this, and that's how the universe is going to respond. The universe is going to respond, and that's the dangerous part. That's the dangerous part. That's the part that a lot of people don't like. Even though it might be positive, this is the part that people don't like, because some people are aware that they are not ready for certain things. I mean, they understand, they want those things. They want those things, and they're working towards those things. But the universe comes back to you, and the universe is like, you're a multi-million-dollar company, but you haven't made $1. So you start fucking panicking. Right? Like you start flipping out. You're kind of like, whoa, relax, bro, buddy. You know, I can't pay this. I can't do that. I can't do this. You know, relax. What the fuck? I mean, but there's no need to panic. Just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. If the universe thinks you're a multi-million-dollar company, let the universe think you're a $1,000,000 company. It's better for the universe to think they're a multi-million-dollar company than you're some deadbeat a-hole in the middle of nowhere. Right? Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong? Period. But most people don't understand that. Most people actually panic when that shit happens. Not everybody does. A lot of people just go with the flow. A lot of people have learned to go with the flow. If the universe sends them a bunch of compliments. The universe sends them a bunch of compliments, and they don't understand why the universe is sending them compliments. Like, why is the universe saying that? I mean, I appreciate it, but I don't know why you're saying that. Because of the things that your mind is concentrating on. And like I told you before, the universe speaks in the present time. There is no future. There's no past for the universe. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a lick of a difference. And you need to start thinking the same way. You need to stop thinking that time exists. Time does not exist. It is a human concept. What we have is movement. What we have is consequence. The consequence of me sitting here and making a YouTube video, the consequence is 1 hour has passed. Or 5 minutes, or at this present time, 9 minutes has passed. That is the consequence of my movement. Time and space is irrelevant. Like the moment that you see this video will be irrelevant with the time that I put the video out. It will be irrelevant if you saw it before or if you saw it later. It will be irrelevant. Just like YouTube, if you're a user of YouTube, if you watch YouTube a lot, you will start to notice that time and space is irrelevant to YouTube because you're watching old shit, and that old shit is actually new shit. What does that mean? That means you're watching old things on YouTube and everybody else is watching that old thing at the same time. It's trending. And you're sitting there, you think you're the only one watching it, right? You're not the only one watching. You're not even watching it. You're just aware that it's there on YouTube repeatedly. And it's some old TV show or an old joke or old meme, but it's actually trending right now. So time and space is irrelevant. It doesn't matter that that tweet, meme, TV show was out 10 years ago. It doesn't matter because time and space is irrelevant. So my video's time of release and the time that you see it is relevant only to you, not to me. It's not relevant to me. This is magic. Everything is magic. Y'all think this is just a fucking YouTube video and I'm just talking in the microphone. No, I'm doing a lot more than that. This is magic. This is pure magic. This is magic at its base form. Raw, rugged, gritty, grimy. This is gangster shit of magic, bro. Alright, I'm gonna stop kidding. I'll stop kidding. But for real, like, this is not normal shit. You are not watching anything normal. If you watch YouTube, you're never watching something normal. Ever. If you are capable, if your third eye is open, you know that everything that you're watching is never something normal. It's never something that is supposed to be. It's a consequence of movement. It's a consequence of movement. And I can't stress that enough. I keep telling people time and space is irrelevant. I keep telling people time and space is irrelevant. I keep telling people time and space is irrelevant. I tell everybody that. Time and space is irrelevant. Time and space is irrelevant. You're thinking, well, this happened in the past. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. To me, it might matter. You know, I feel your plight. I feel your plight. I feel what you're going through. I understand what you're going through. I'm speaking about like fourth dimensional people. Because fourth dimensional people going through the fourth dimension right now, the one like, you know, really going through it, really going through the phases and the pace of it. Right? So when you're going through the pace, of it and the phases of it, it's messed up shit. You know, and things pop back up, and you tend and the past always pop back up, and you're kind of like, it's giving you anxiety. It's giving you anxiety. Why is it giving you anxiety? Because you don't understand that the fourth dimension doesn't care about time or space. You take it as a personal attack, but it's not a personal attack. It's easy to say, but harder to comprehend. What are you supposed to do about that? Why is this happening? Like, why is this? You have to make a decision. Well, what decision? What are you talking about? I don't understand. You have to decide on what and who you want to be. And for as long as you don't do that, everything that was part of your life, your future, your past is going to mishmash together, giving you weird experiences because you are not putting things in the correct order. No, you're not supposed to tell yourself, oh, well, this has happened in the past, so I'm going to put this in the past. No. This is not what I'm talking about. Those are emotional things. Those are emotional issues. That's a different subject. And it's also an important subject because you have to, like, You have to forgive yourself. You have to love yourself. You need to forgive yourself. You need to love yourself. You need to understand yourself. You need to understand why you're like this. You need to understand why things happen, right? So that's a different subject. But for the meantime, because this is pretty dangerous shit. It's pretty dangerous shit. You know, you're going through the fourth dimension. You can get pissed off. Somebody can be pissed off at you. You can lose everything. You can lose your future. You can change your future. You can change it for the better, but you can also change it for the worse. You know, so you're basically playing the lottery. You're basically playing the lottery, and we don't want you to play the lottery. We want you to knowingly and consciously head towards what you want. Because there's no better recompense. There is no better reward for that, right? For yourself, right? So what we're asking you, what we're telling you is you need to put yourself back in order. What do I want? How am I going to get it? How much do I want it? Because you can tell yourself today, well, I want this. But are you going to work towards what you want? Are you actually going to do the things in order to get that thing that you want? I don't know. No one knows. Only you know. Because believe it or not, I am not in your mind. We are all holograms. From your point of view, I am a manifestation. From my point of view, you are a manifestation. We are all one. We are all connected, but at the same time, we are all individuals living individual kingdoms. You can be part of somebody else's kingdom, or you can have your kingdom. Which is it that you want? Which is it that makes you more comfortable? Which is it that you feel that you can make the most impact in? Is it by being king? Or is it by being, how do you call those, a person that follows the king? I forgot the word. Which is it that you can make most impact in? I forgot the word, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'll remember it later. I'm too in the juice to try to remember. You know, and I don't want to say a fledgling, you know, you're not a fledgling, you know. So it is what it is. It's the same thing with me. When you look at me, do you feel like replacing me would be where you would make the most impact, or being with me would be where you would make the most impact? Who knows? No one knows. Only you know. I can deduce something. I can imagine something. I can perceive something in you that would say, well, maybe you could actually help me, or you could actually help XYZ person. You know, you could be a person that would actually make an impact. I could deduce that depending on your energy, depending on how you present yourself, depending on the things you say. I could feel that you have a lot of talent. I could feel like you were made for this. But that's my perception on things. That's not what's going on in your mind. It's not a point of view of what's going on in your mind. What's going on in your mind might be different than what I'm thinking. I could be completely false, even. But that's not me, and it's not my fault. It all depends on your choices. It all depends on your mind frame. I'm just, speaking of frames, I am just a frame, right? Like would you watch YouTube videos, you watch videos, right? So everybody, you play video games, right? People always talking about frames, right? Frames in video. A frame is one picture compiled with all the pictures. So basically, if you video edit, if you do video editing, you know what frames are. A frame is one picture in 1,000. It's like having a Polaroid. That's what a Polaroid is. A Polaroid is not a camera. I mean, yes, it is a camera, but Polaroids are different than other cameras. Polaroids take multiple frame pictures. A camera just take one picture, or it records. Polaroids actually take multiple pictures of one person, of one thing, or whatever you choose. And that thing could be moving, but in the time space that the Polaroid is programmed in, let's say you program the Polaroid for 1 minute, it's just gonna continue on taking pictures whether you move or not. So it's like frame, 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 frame. So me, basically, as I am right now, I'm just a frame in your life. And the other picture behind it could be different. And the other picture in front of it probably is different. Or maybe it's the same, who knows? But it's gonna change at some point. So this is the reason why time and space is irrelevant. I am just a frame, right? And the picture behind me, even though it's relevant to the picture in front, is still irrelevant to the picture that's in front. And the present, and let's say that picture is the present, it's also, that picture is also irrelevant to the one that's in front. Or vice versa. So you can't tell yourself, you can't judge yourself, and you can't tell yourself that you can't make it. You can't tell yourself that you're incapable of this. You can't tell yourself anything. You can only do. And when you start telling yourself things, that's where everything goes haywire, right? Instead of having a Polaroid picture perfect life, all the pictures are all mixed up together. That's the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension just puts frames up whenever it feels like it. Because there's no sense, everything is floating, everything is constant, everything is moving all the time. So all the frames are moving at the same time. And when you're stuck in that dimension, that's what's going on. All the frames are moving at the same time. So you're kind of like, this is fucking crazy. This is crazy shit. I don't understand. Like, what's going on? That's what's going on. All your frames are moving at the same time. You need to recollect yourself. And the reason why all your frames are moving at the same time is because you're not recollecting yourself. You need to recollect yourself. You need to be aware of yourself. You need to put yourself in a position. You got to tell yourself, I am this. And every day of your life, you are that thing that you decided that you wanted to do. Period. And then what happens? Well, all the craziness starts to dissipate. And even when the fourth dimension tries to slip in, it gets wrecked. Something's gonna come in and say, nope, we're not having this today. We're not having this conversation. We ain't trying to hear all that. This is not what's going on. We're doing something. We're too busy to mess around with you. Fourth dimension, sir. You'll need to come back later if ever you are needed. Because the fourth dimension is still needed at this, whether we like it or not. It's the force of movement. The fourth dimension is force of movement. You know what I mean? So anyways, to get back to herbs. Yes, herbs are important in rituals. Herbs are very important in rituals. Herbs help. The fragrances help to attract whatever you want to attract. You know what I mean? Because it's all about fragrance. It's all about fragrance. Like the fragrance of life, the spice of life. You always hear people saying that. You always hear people mentioning those words. The spice of life, the fragrance of life. You know what I mean? So you attract things. Use perfume, right? Use the perfumes, not necessarily perfume, but the perfumes itself of the fragrances of the elements that you're using. The oil, the incense, the herb, whatever herb you use, whether it's basil, sage, things of that matter. My personal favorite is sage. You know, I love using sage, but that's because I'm a demonologist. You know, I'm a sage fan. A lot of people hate sage. I don't understand that. I don't even understand how you can hate sage. I don't know. It smells so good. Well, to me, it smells good. I don't know. Maybe because I'm a demon. But there are some perfumes that I don't like too. There's some perfumes. There's some fragrances that I can't use. I can't be around it. It's disturbing to me. Like it makes my nose itch. I have to get out the room. You know what I mean? Like I'm demon possessed. I have to run out the room because I'm like, no, can't smell it. Repulsive. It's disgusting. Bad. It's the same thing. You know. And it shows you have respect. It shows you have respect too. It shows you have respect for what you're doing. You know, it shows you have respect for what you're doing, that you actually care about what you're doing. Because sometimes you have to mix the herbs and stuff. And sometimes you have to make up your own mix too. Sometimes, not all the time. But no bullshit. Most of the time you have to make up your own mix. And you have to know like what you want and what smells actually does things. Like all the herbs are connected to some form of, you know, aspect of life, you know, the fortune, love life, you know, spirituality, you know, things of that matter, right? Like depending relationships, you know, success, you know, warfare, success in warfare, success in relationship, just having a relationship, just going into warfare, you know, having more magic, attracting magic, you know, those actually have different herbs. Actually, those actually have different herbs and different fragrances and different smells that you're using. You know, a lot of people don't like that's anyway. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. So So I hope that answers your question. I thought it was an intelligent question. I thought it was a smart question because you always see people using herbs, or you don't know why they're using herbs. You know, you don't. Well, you know, not everybody knows why. There's a lot of people that actually do know why, but a lot of people don't understand why. So you know, so I thought it was a smart question to ask. You know, because it's not a question that people ask often too. Like we all sit there. We might have a friend that does magic, and we sit there and we look at him, and he's like mixing shit. And we're kind of like, well, you know, whatever. He knows what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but he knows what he's doing, so I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to ask. For some reason, I'm not just going to ask. You know, I don't want to impede on what he's doing and shit like that. Or I don't want to offend him by asking him a question, you know, a misplaced question or something that might sound disrespectful, or maybe I'm underestimating his power. I'm questioning if he's saying his sanity by asking him why you got herbs around, you know, like, because the herbs are important. Fragrances are important. The herbs are important. It attracts what you need. It helps build the potency of your magic and such. And there's some people that put herbs in their pockets. You know, there's some people that walk around with a pocket full of herbs. You know, like they literally take a pinch. Take a pinch. You know, depending on what it is you want. You attract women, attract money, protection. You want to protect yourself. They make this concoction with herbs and they put it in the pocket. And they walk around town with herbs in their fucking pockets. You know, you know, it happens, man. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that do that. I remember like this guy I used to live with. Used to dabble in magic and shit like that. I guess he was jealous of me and some shit like that. Like he was jealous of me or something because I don't know why. You know why? I kind of know why, but whatever. But like he started practicing black magic. He started practicing black magic on me. But me, I have a nose for black magic. If you're doing black magic around me, I'm gonna smell something. You know, like I can smell magic. You know, and most magic practitioners, most experienced magic practitioner can smell magic. You know, and I was sitting there and I was smelling something, and I was like, somebody's doing something. And I was seeing like I was aware that somebody was doing something because I was having conversation with people, and I felt like the energy getting more and more. The people was getting more and more aggravated around me or around the house, not outside the house, but inside of the house. So, but at some point, I was kind of like smelling. I woke up one day, not too long after, and I just smelled something was fishy, and so I started looking around like a crazy person, and he had like this, Gatorade bottle with with herbs in it in the corner of the house, and I showed it to him. It's like I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, what the fuck is your problem?" Like, we had this big old argument. It was crazy shit. You know, it went nuclear basically. So this guy was trying to practice. He was jealous. He was doing black magic on me. Like, he was jealous. He wanted, whatever. So I found the thing. It was like hidden in a corner of the house. And I really looked. I was like possessed. I was like a demon possessed. Like, it's not even me that was looking for it. Like, I just went magic mode, magic dark beast mode, and found the thing. And it was like a Gatorade bottle full of like spices and herbs in it. There was some salt. There was salt and some black shit in there. It was fucked up. Some fucked up shit. So just that, you see, like the person didn't need a what's it called, an effigy, or a fetish, some voodoo doll, some shit like that. Just a regular Gatorade bottle with some herbs and spices. Put that shit in the corner of the house. Create some discord. Create a negative environment. I mean, like, he was creating, and we lived together. We was in the house. It's in the house, in the same house. But so he created. He didn't care, basically, that the environment in the house was negative because he was just so jealous. And shit is crazy. Anyway, so it just goes to show, yes, herbs can be important. You can smell magic. I can smell magic. Sometimes I'll walk in the street and I can smell it. I can smell somebody's magical. Somebody's doing magic. Like, not all the time. Not all the time. It's not like 100% sure fact. It's not like, every time somebody does magic, my spider senses are tingling. You know what I mean? Like, but there's ways to recognize magic. Like, I know there's different magic practitioners in my neighborhood. Because I see signs. I see signs of people practicing magic. Because I have those same signs when I practice magic, but I didn't do anything today, so I know that comes from somewhere else. I don't know who, I don't know where, but I know somebody's doing something. You know what I mean? So it's very, very peculiar, very fun shit. I like it. I like this chaoticness. But I'm Lucifer, so that's kind of fucking normal. Um, you know, it goes with the territory. Somebody just the ground just shook. Well, I just said that. So it is what it is. I like that kind of environment. I like that kind of shit. Even if somebody's doing something. I mean, everybody has the right to have their own emotions. Everybody has the right to have their own point of view. I mean, there's no real reason to like get way overboard with it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you shouldn't have you shouldn't practice some form of protection against yourself, because the jealous person, his mind is not right at that time. You know, so he might literally want to hinder you. Maybe not necessarily damage you physically, but that person wants to hinder you in some shape or form. So, practicing some form of protection spells or protection magic, or whatever it is, I encourage it too. But do I think, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think magic should be like, people should burn witches at the stake for practicing. You know what I mean? Like whatever, however you get dealt with is however you get dealt with, and that's gonna be the hand that you played on yourself. You know, because magic is fun. Magic is fun. There's cool things. You see cool things. You can do cool things. You feel good. You feel good. I mean, like some people are not sober at this present time. There's a lot of people that are not sober at this present time. There's a lot of people that convey that they are spiritual people, but they're not sober, right? Like yeah, I drink too sometimes, man. But it's very rare. I don't drink all the time. It's not, it's once a month, not even, barely. It's once. Time and space is irrelevant to me. One drink today is the same thing as having a drink tomorrow. So, I don't see it. I don't count the time. And the universe doesn't count the time either, because the universe is always saying stop drinking and stuff like that. But I don't drink. But the universe doesn't understand. The universe doesn't see past and future. The universe only see the present. And I'm drinking, or I was drinking, or I was thinking of drinking. So, but I know I'm in a 3D world and not in a fifth dimensional or fourth dimensional world. In the 3D world, I know very well that I don't drink every day. I don't drink every weekend. I don't drink every month. I don't drink all the time, right? But in the fourth dimensional world, in the fifth dimensional world, there's no difference between having a drink on the 25th of, January and another drink on, the 30th of May. It's all the same. In the fourth and fifth dimension, it's all the same. It's like you was drinking the whole time. There's no, shit is crazy, man. Shit is crazy because your higher self, you have to understand that your higher self is living like the universe thinks, right? Your higher self lives in the future, the present, and the past, right? So if you have a drink today, for your higher self, you was drinking this whole time. Like for your higher self, you never stopped drinking, right? For your physical self, you feel like you don't drink, right? You feel like you are a responsible human being who practices moderation, but in actuality, for your higher self, that's not what's going on. So if you're smoking a joint, but you smoke a joint once in a while, it's not gonna hurt your physical body. You're not gonna be an addict. You're not, you know what I mean? Like if you are able to control that shit, right? Like if you control that shit, like for years. The thing you need to understand for your higher self, there is no difference. If you smoked a joint on the 25th of January and the last joint you took was on the 30th of May, there is no difference. For him, it's like you was smoking every day. Because to him, it's like he's smoking every day. You're just adding another day that you smoke, right? So shit is kind of crazy. I'm not trying to discourage you or anything like that, but I will say this before I leave, though. A lot of spiritual people are conveying that they're spiritual. But let me tell you something. If you practice rituals, if you do rituals, you don't feel like drinking. Everybody that did rituals with me, if you do a ritual well, if you do it well, if you put the right energy in it, you don't feel like smoking a joint. You don't feel like drinking. You feel like if you drink or smoke a joint at this particular time, that you're disrespecting something. Because you felt the power. You felt a power that was far beyond what you expect out of life. And most people have this natural respect for that sort of ether, for that sort of mana build-up, right? So they're like, I don't feel like I should drink right now. Like, I feel like I should stop drinking. I feel like I should stop smoking, because you have found, and that's a good thing, and that means you're perceptive, and that means you're receptive, you're spiritually receptive, and you're spiritually accepting and open-minded, and your third eye is about to be open too, because some people don't feel that shit. Because you are capable of sensing that, yo, I don't need this. Because there's a new drug in town, and it's called fucking magic. There's a new sheriff in town, and it's called Lucifer. I'm kidding. But you get the point. You get the point. You don't feel like I do a ritual with, even though Lucifer might be a heavy drinker, you know, even though Lucifer can drink a whole gallon if he wants to, that's not the energy that you feel when you actually start doing magical practices. You feel like this power, this divine power, is too good and too great for me to be like disrespectful and be like, I need a drink after what I just felt. I don't need a drink after what I just felt, man. I want to feel more of that shit, right? So of course I'm not going to tell people stop drinking and stop smoking, but when people tell me, yo, I don't think I think I should stop smoking. I think I should stop drinking. I'm like, it is what it is. Do whatever you want. I'm not going to force you to do anything, but you're right. I understand what you feel like because I feel like that too. Yeah. I feel like that too when I do rituals. When I do rituals and they work, I feel the exact same way. You know what I mean? I feel bad for drinking. I feel guilty for drinking for some reason, but I don't want people to feel guilty. I don't want people like because we're not offering a fucking therapy service here. You know what I mean? That's not what we're about. Like, I mean, we're not going to encourage you to do it, but we don't do. It's not what we do. We're not therapists. You know what I mean? But we will encourage you not to. But if you feel like doing it, go right on ahead. You know what I mean? But we're not gonna encourage you to do it, right? So there's a clear difference. But it is amazing, and it is cool to hear, and I do understand the feeling. And I mean, like there's some people like, well, how some people might feel like, well, why don't you tell people to stop fucking consuming and shit like that? Because they can do whatever the fuck they want. That's why, and I'm not here to because I don't want you to feel bad. Like the last thing I want you to feel bad and make you feel like you have to take on this practice and now it's a fucking chore because now you have to stop doing this and now you have to start doing that because it's not a chore. It's for fun, kind of, a little bit, not that much, but a little bit. It's not a chore. It's not, you're supposed to enjoy yourself. We're here to try to make you enjoy your life, for the people that deserve it. For the people that deserve it, we're here for them to make them, to make their lives a little bit more tolerable. You know what I mean? Or shit, period, fun, because it's not always about fun, and we're not always having fun. Situations happen, life happens, whatever. Life happens for you, but that's what we're here for. When life happens for you, that's what we're here for. So it's not a chore, it's not an obligation. It's a decision. It's a want. I want this. I want to do this. This is what I want. I like this. This is what I like. I love this. This is what I love. It's not a go right on the chalkboard like Bart Simpson's I will never do drugs again 100 times. Like that's not, bro. Like nah. I mean, like nah, bro. Like that's boring. That's boring. We don't do that. Bro. But we will encourage you. You know what I mean? And yes, sometimes if we really believe in you, we gonna fuck your ass up until you stop. That's true. If we really believe in you, like if we're like, man, this dude, he got some talent. He know where it's going. He should stop drinking because the drinking is blocking him from. Yes, yeah, right. Like, let's say you come to me and you're kind of like, yo, I want a ritual for success, man. I want some success and shit. But you drinking all the time, right? And then the spirit comes into your life and he just goes crazy on your alcohol. Like you break all your beer, your beer cans get stolen. You can't buy any beer for some reason. Somebody steals your beers or your alcohol, whatever. Your bottles, you wake up one morning, all the bottles flip over and they break, and all kinds of shit, like crazy shit, right? Like if that happens, that's because that's the reason why you don't have the success that you're looking for. And also it's because it's very important for you to stop drinking. If they react violently like that, if you have a situation and the spirits react violently to it, it's because that's where the problem is. Period. Period. If they act like super violent with it, right? Like that's where the problem is, and you got to concentrate on that. You know what I mean? Because not everybody, you're gonna do a spiritual, work, and the spirits are just gonna come in and just start breaking bottles and shit, stealing your money. You know what I mean? Like all kinds of shit, because they know that you're gonna go fucking buy some fucking shit with it. You know what I mean? So of course they're gonna go they're gonna go crazy. You know what I mean? Because they feel this, they smell the problem, they know what the problem is, and they believe in you. And they know that that's your problem. That right there is the problem. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, it can get crazy. Even though I said we don't do therapy, but it can get crazy for some people. It depends on who you are, because everybody's different in some shape or form. We might all be the same, but we all have our different quirks and different ideals. So of course shit like that can happen. Of course it can happen. But no, it's not therapy. It's not because it's therapy. It's not because that's what everybody needs to do in the world. Is just for some people it might be a hindrance, and for other people it might not be a hindrance, but you would be stronger if you didn't consume shit. You didn't self-medicate. But do you want that kind of strength? That's another question too. So that's why it's not a therapy. Because at the end of the day, it's your choice. You might just be comfortable with the amount of power that you have right now, and be very comfortable, and you're very capable. You're very capable and very comfortable of doing whatever you have to do in the position that you are right now. So maybe that's not what you're looking for. But if it's kind of like, by the way, you could be stronger if you did this differently, but you don't have to. But I'm just saying, because I smell you, I feel you, I see you, and now that I've seen you, I'm kind of like, well, you might have more potential than you actually think, but maybe you don't care. But if you do care, one of these days, all you have to do is stop consuming shit and stop self-medicating. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all I wanted you to know. Shit like that. So anyways, this video is too damn long. Thanks for coming out. Have a good day. Have a good one. And I'll answer more of your questions on my next video. And the podcast is coming soon. So I'll see you guys later, man. Peace out. Have a good one.